component names. That's it, and how it is look like. Okay. First of all, okay. So first of all, so what are the PC hardware components? PC hardware components. Normally like processor, central processing unit, processor, or a CPU. So normally people say like a CPU means the box, we call it as a CPU. No, actually it is the CPU is look like this one, a small chip. This is not CPU, this is cabinet. This is called a cabinet. Okay, so the CPUs are look like this one. Like this one. This is the bottom side of CPU. This is a top side of CPU. So the Intel, AMD company CPUs are there. Okay. So this is a top view of a CPU. This is bottom view of a CPU. This is CPU socket. CPU socket. Okay. This is a totally motherboard. On motherboard, you have a CPU chip. Okay. Simply a CPU is a chip which do processing, right? So what is basically a computer? Computer means whenever you give input, you take the input, process it, and give the output to you, right? So what is that process thing which will do by your CPU only? Just basics only I'm telling. Okay. Next, memory. When it comes to the memory, so there's a different memories are there. One is primary memory, secondary memory is also there. Primary memory, secondary memory is there. What are the primary memories? Anyone? RAM?
ROM.
ROM, PROM.
Secondary memories.
Hard disk, pen drive,
SSD.
floppy,
Very good. SSD. SSD. Very good. Okay. Hard disk drives, CD, SSDs, pen drives, floppy disk, CD, DVDs. Okay. Floppy disks are not there now. CD, DVDs also gone from the market. Okay. Pen drives are there. SD cards, EMCC kind of stuff also there. Again, EMMC cards are become popular in the computer field nowadays. Again, that is also storage device. So primary memories, RAM and ROM. Again, when you say physical memory, that is always RAM on. When you say it's like they said, it's a physical memory, RAM only. ROM don't have any kind of storing, like we store a data in the ROM, won't happens. Okay, because it's a read-only memory. Okay. Again, RAM, random
access memory,
very good. Random access memory. ROM,
read-only memory,
read-only memory. Very good. So people will ask question like what is the difference between RAM and ROM? RAM is a volatile memory. ROM is a non-volatile memory. Volatile memory, non-volatile memory. What is meaning of volatile memory? Whenever power off, if you can say like a with power off, simply data gone. Okay, so whenever you turn off your computer, you shut down your computer, then the data in the RAM will gone automatically. Data is there even though power is off. Okay, so data not lost even power off or turn off or shut down. Any word you can use it. Like even though power is no power supply, so still data won't last. Data not last. Okay. Data will last when power. Like that, you can use any words simply to understand. Okay, sentence can be anything. You can construct your own sentence. Simple thing is, the system is running. My system is running. My RAM contains the data. Okay, if I shut down my laptop, data in the RAM will be gone. Okay, so data won't be lost. It stays in your ROM even though I shut down my computer. Okay, so this is the volatile memory, non-volatile memory. Okay, it is read-write data type. It's read and write. Means we can put a data and you can read the data also. ROM is it's a read-only type. Means you cannot alter the data inside. You cannot alter the data inside. You can upgrade computers. You can upgrade RAM size. You cannot. Cannot upgrade any size. You have to use that one only. Okay, so these are the very basic differences of RAM and ROM. RAM is a main memory. Okay. Okay, so physical memory, and also we can call it as a main memory. Also called as a main memory. Okay, so of course RAM and ROM are a primary memories, but physical memory, main memory is a RAM only. So RAM, size of the RAM increases, speed of the system also increases, but it is purely depends upon the CPU. Okay. Relation of RAM is based on CPU and motherboard also. Okay, so that's always keep in mind. So what is a CPU? CPU, central processing unit. Memory, in the memory, so first is a CPU, next is a memory. In memory, primary memory, secondary memories. Primary memory are RAM and ROM. Okay, so RAM is a volatile memory, ROM is a non-volatile memory. Okay. In a CPU also we have to tell a lot of things, but Yeah, this is CPU. Yeah, was in a CPU. I will tell something like a 32-bit and 64-bit processors are there. We'll go with this one. 32-bit processor, 64-bit processor. Actually, CPU started with a 4-bit processor. CPU, the first CPU is a 4-bit processor. Then 8-bit, 16-bit, 32, 64. Nowadays, most of our processors are 64-bit processors only. 64-bit processor only. So what is this bit? What is this bit? CPU means your processor. What are the processor? Instruction. Okay. Instruction set length. Instruction set length. Processor. Instruction set length. 32-bit processor having 32-bit instruction. 64-bit processor having 64-bit thing. Okay. Processor instruction length. So we are giving instructions to our processor to do some task, right? So we give the size of instruction. We are we don't know what is the exactly how instruction is look like, but just we are using some application like I'm typing means I'm giving instruction, right? I'm typing, so system is understand my what I'm typing and process it and put it on a screen, right? So it take an instruction like take this input and put it in your notepad. Okay, so that is the instruction built-in internal instruction are based on operating system and your CPU. Instruction length is 64-bit in a 64-bit CPU and 64-bit OS. 32-bit size of instructions.
Can I ask a question? Hello?
Yeah, tell me.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, tell me, tell me.
What's the difference between 32-bit and 64-bit? It's all about the set of instructions or something else?
Okay, so what is the difference between 32-bit and 64-bit, right?
Yeah, sir.
So your instruction length is 32-bit in 32-bit processor, 64-bit in 64-bit processor, and somewhat like you can say data bus, address bus, width, or some people say like a bus width is a difference, like a 32-bit having a 32-bit width. Okay, so our system bus, so like a bus width, so they will put it. But whatever it is, instruction size, what are the bus width size, we don't know, right? We don't see what is the instruction, how it is look like. We are not in a hardware programming, right? So for us, what is the difference between 32-bit and 64-bit? Because that is very important. So in a very basics, so we'll see that one. What is the important? Good question. Okay, so here it is. When you are comparing, so 64-bit having certain features, because nowadays the 64 bits having a certain features. One is size of instruction is big compared to 32-bit. It means big instructions you can able to give, means uh, you have to give a complex task. You have to give a complex task, so many things in a single line or a single instruction you want to give. It is very difficult with a less bit processor. Okay, so in 64-bit length processor length instruction means you can give complex, more complex instructions, more complex instructions you can able to give. That is, so it can process complex instructions. Okay, big cases. Okay, of course, RAM size requirement is also high. Of course, that is not an advantage, but it is a one disadvantage. It is requirement of RAM is also required. For example, 32-bit requirement may be 1 GB. If for 32-bit requirement is 1 GB RAM, for a 64-bit the requirement become 2 GB. Automatically double the RAM you have to use it, because size of the instructions data size is also increases. Okay, but we'll see other things like a certain technologies, like a virtualization technologies. You will get it. Virtualization technology, core virtualization technologies you are getting. Okay, processor having this virtualization technologies like Intel VTX or AMD AMD-V. These are the virtualization technologies. Okay, so with the 64-bit direct core 64-bit you are getting multi-core processors, multi-core processors. You'll get it. For example, you have a CPU. You take a i3 CPU, latest generation i3 CPU, 4 cores, 8 threads are there. i5 processor, like a 4 core, 8 threads are there, or 6 core processors are there, octa core processors. Mobile phone. Earlier we don't have a mobile phone much processor related information, but later when smartphones are came into market, then it is a 4 core processor, quad core processor, octa core processor, deca core processor. Okay, i3, i5, i7, i9 Xeon processors. These are a multi-core processors, multi-core, multi-thread processor, multi-core, multi-threading processors. So I need a paintbrush for that one. So this is my processor. Okay, so earlier days we have a single processor like this. Okay, so if you need more computing power, people use multiple processors like a server type. Okay, so later on days they take a two processor, combine two processor together and make it as a dual core processor. It is a single core processor. Okay, it is a single core processor, means one processor, one core type processor. It is dual core processor, means two processors are combined and become a single processor unit, single CPU, but two processor actually it is. Now nowadays we are getting like this. Okay, so not only nowadays, there is earlier also it is there, but now we got i3, i5, then it is become more easier to understand. It is single processor is divided into two parts. Single processor is divided into two parts. This is called a core to geo model. What it is? Core to geo type model is launched later. Okay, core technologies. So later people further divide into four parts. This is called a quad core processor. Its meaning is it is a single processor unit, only single processor it divided into four parts. So why four parts is four parts will run four tasks continuously. Okay, so multiple tasks, like it become a multitasking become very easy in a multi-core processing. Okay, next I said thread. What is thread? This course is further divided into, again, it is further divided into 2 or a 3 or 4 or like that. So it is become a, now it's a single processor act like a 4 processors. Now it is act like a 8 processors. Okay, act like a 8 processors. So the computing power increases without increasing size of the processor. So earlier we have a doubt when P4 is launched. Okay, when P4 system is launched, because of millions of transistors we used in the things, it has become a it is like a one in a newspapers they released as it is a wonder, like a wonder. Okay, so after so many years of research and they put a lot of millions of, I think 4 million, 4 million P4 having a 4 million transistors in the processor. Don't worry. Okay, but there is a big challenge. What about a other processor? For example, they launch a 5, then maybe they will put a 8 million processors, 8 million transistors. So obviously the size of the processor become big. Size of the processor become very big. The more number of transistor you put it, but processing multitasking is not increasing. So that's what do they do? They started doing core processing. The multi-core processing is very easy. Okay, and multi-threading processors we can easily build with a 64-bit processor. So multi-core processor is available in a 64-bit processor. In 32 very less, and very less time only it is there. And the technologies like virtualization technologies also available in a 64-bit. Uefi, which is nothing but a old type BIOS technology only. Uefi is nothing but a firmware. UFA firmware is available. Through that one, you will get a secure boot option also. You will get it. In 64-bit, we have a this kind of stuff. Nature. It is easy. So it is a device driver signature must be verified. Okay, otherwise it won't work. In 32-bit, it's okay. We can bypass the digital signature, digital signature for a device drivers or a device driver digital signature. We can bypass in 32-bit, but it is must in a 64-bit. These are the features. That's it. Okay. But what are the main advantages? Multi-core processing is there in 64-bit. Okay. So virtualization technologies available in 64-bit. Okay. 64-bit virtualization we can able to do it. And run. Yeah. You will understand. Okay, so this is if you have a virtual machine kind of stuff. If you have a virtual machine, so then you can run a 64-bit operating systems on 64-bit very easily. Okay, because of this technology, because of these technologies. Of course, complex instructions we can able to run. So that is the main difference between 32-bit and 64-bit. So what is the advantages of 64-bit or features of 64-bit? So instruction size is bigger and complex instructions we can easily run on it. So requirement of size of RAM is high. So obviously you can run computer with a very smoother if with a big RAM. Okay. So virtualization technologies available in 64-bit processors. So then we can create a multiple virtual machines and run the 64-bit operating systems. Okay. Multi-core processing, multi-thread processors are technologies available in 64-bit processor. Okay, 64-bit processor usually support a recent one, support Uefi firmwares. Okay, digital signature, device driver digital signature must be give, otherwise don't work. Okay, so here a small instruction I will write about a 64 and 32-bit is, look at here guys, your CPU is 32-bit, for example. Okay, your OS must be 32-bit. OS must be 32-bit. Device drivers. So to reduce the text length, I put a drivers. Okay, the drivers also 32-bit. Application also 32-bit. So what is the wonder in that one? So we can use 16-bit pros also. Okay. For example, your CPU is a 64-bit processor. Compulsory use a 64-bit operating system only. So your OS is 64 and CPU 64 is there. And drivers also must be 64-bit drivers only, otherwise it won't work. Compatibility. Check it. 64-bit application you can run. Also you can run 32-bit application. You can't run a higher bit or a too much lower bit also you can't run. You can't run 16-bit. Okay. So this is the compatibilities you have to verify. Got it, guys? What is the difference? What is use of 64-bit? What you are getting from the 64-bit? Nowadays, all are mostly 64-bit. And when you are purchasing a laptop or a processor or a desktop kind of stuff, okay, so compulsory check your processor, number of cores, number of threads, virtualization technology in the built-in processor are not compulsory. You have to verify. What you have to verify, is it 64-bit or not? Virtualization technology is there or not? Okay. Is it how many number of cores in that processor, number of threads in the processor? Compulsory verify. How to know, understand that kind of stuff? Very simple, guys. Go to any website like Amazon. So here it is, Amazon is there. Okay. So just open any laptop or a processor or a desktop or anything. You can get it. It's showing a Ryzen 5 like that. So it's a AMD processor. Okay, it is a AMD processor. Either you will get the information from here like 6 core, 16 MB cache memory. Okay, it's a 6 core processor and 16 MB cache memory in it. So what is this cache? Cache is nothing but a RAM model only. It is SRAM only. Okay, which is very fast and costlier than a regular RAM. Okay, so actually it is built in side of CPU. Built inside of CPU only. You can't see the that cache memory. So It is built inside of CPU. And generally what happens here, this is your CPU. Inside your CPU, so cache memory will be there. Okay, inside your CPU, cache memory is there. And this is a RAM. Okay, this is RAM. Now, what is the RAM will do? Okay, your RAM, CPU. Okay, and this is cache. So RAM load instructions and put a output in the IO devices. Okay, this is what happened. Here IO controller is there. IO controller. So you have a keyboard, mouse is there. Okay, monitor is there. Okay, storage devices are there. Anything, it will load it through IO controller. IO controller to your RAM. It will load it, and it will give output from here only. We can't give any instruction to CPU directly. We do load into the RAM. RAM will give it to cache, and cache will give it to CPU. Same thing. After processing, CPU give it to cache, cache give it to your RAM. Okay. So what is this cache? It is intermediate between your CPU and RAM, which fasten the processing. Okay. Cache load instructions and data from RAM and give it to CPU. Okay. CPU process the instructions and gives output to cache. Cache give the output to RAM again. Okay, so that is the duty of your cache. In your cache, there is a different type of caches are there. L1, L2, L3 caches are there. The most of the time we look at the L3 caches only. So L3 caches sizes are always a vary thing, like a 3 MB cache, 4 MB cache, 10 MB cache, 12 MB cache, 18 MB cache, like that it is there. So if you look at here, it is 16 MB cache. Bigger the cache memory, better the processor. Okay, so bigger the cache memory, better processor it is. Okay, always look at a processor's cache memory. Also, you will get a some kind of things like So I selected a processor. So this is showing a Intel i3, but it is not showing i3 which number. See, it is Intel Core i3. This type of processor it is, right? Search it. Okay, search for that number. You can get a arcintel.com. It will give you about a product details also. So what is the processor? Number of cores, number of threads. It's a 2-core, 4-thread processor. Okay. What is their frequencies? Okay, maximum RAM support, type of RAM support, other things also. It is saying how much GPU support, like that, how much graphical memory is there inside, like that we can able to, how much cache memory you will get it. Is it 32-bit or 64-bit? Okay, see instruction set 64-bit. Type of instructions, built-in instructions, virtualization technology. Where is virtualization technology? Is not there. So I am unable to see. It will be there somewhere. Yeah, here it is. Virtualization technology available. Okay. Simply you can go to any processor, go to this site, you'll get it. So simply click on these question marks. It will show you some information. Just read it to understand what it is. Okay. So to get any your processor, just simply put a Google. If it is an Intel processor, directly the Intel website will tell you about the processor information. But give correct a number here. So each number, it depends upon each number. So the processor style will be changes. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say point. Here it is. So cache memories are L1, L2, L3 cache memories. So verify. The bigger the cache memory, better the processor type. That is enough, I think so. So compulsory check what is your processor. Okay, very simple to check the processor also there. Right click on your taskbar, task manager. So go to performance, click on CPU. Okay, click on CPU. You can see your processor information like this. My processor is i5 3230M, 2.6 GHz processor. Guys, are you able to see this screen?
Yes, sir.
Right. So if you don't know how to open task manager also, no problem, ask me, I will tell. Important things in this one, I will show you. That's first one. So you go to performance, go to CPU, then you can see what is your CPU model, what is your CPU and their frequency. Okay, so it is running frequency 2.6 GHz. This is my CPU model i3 3230M. Then look at this part, virtualization. Look at this part, virtualization is enabled. And last one is your L3 cache. L3 cache. Okay, L3 cache. Of course, you will get a utilization, processes, threads, handles, uptime, speed, like this are there. But as I told about a processor details, first one is what is your processor? Intel processor, i5 processor. Which model it is? 3230M means 30. It is a third generation mobile processor. Third generation processor. 2.6 GHz speed running. Okay. Number of cores 2. Number of logical processors. Okay. So number of cores 2. Number of logical processor are 4. One single socket means in single processor we have a 2 cores and each core is divided into 2. It is look like a 4-core processor. Okay, so that is it. Next one is virtualization technology is enabled or not. What is your cache memory? Okay, so which type of processor you are using, Intel or AMD? Okay, what is that processor model and what is the frequency? So these things, collect this information and tell me later means in afternoon. So what he will do, so now or later, so you just inform, check it once and do it. So I'm writing here about my CPU. It is Intel i5 processor 3230M. Okay, and it is a 2.60 gigahertz processor. Okay, number of cores, it is showing 2, logical are 4, virtualization enabled, virtualization enabled. L3 cache is only 3 MB. Okay, so find out your CPU details. Okay, so this is about your CPU. Again, once again, CPU. CPU means central processing unit. Central processing unit. It's a processor which take your instructions and process it and give you an output. So arithmetic and logical unit will be there inside your CPU. So very simple CPU, 32-bit, 64-bit CPU is there. Okay, so already we discussed. So certain points from the 64-bit processor, and each processor having some cache memory. Cache memory built by SRAM. Okay, it is faster but costly to use normally. It is built inside of your CPU. What are the input you are giving to CPU? It load to the cache from RAM. Cache give to CPU, and CPU process the instructions and give the output to the cache and cache to the RAM. So then it will balance the speed, because CPU is faster than a RAM. Different type of caches, L1, L2, L3 caches. And know about your processor is very important. What processor model you are using, and virtualization is enabled or not. Watch how much cache it is. More cache is a better cache. So actually we jump back to memories, RAM and Rom. Okay. Anybody? Any questions or any doubts?
So what is device driver digital signature?
Yeah, that's a device driver digital signature means, for example, I have a laptop or a desktop. Network connection is there. No network drivers we have to install sometimes, or maybe audio drivers or video drivers. Okay. Now you are getting a laptop directly from shop with our OS is installed, pre-installed. So we don't install a drivers ourselves. Like for example, you purchase a printer. You connect a printer. You want to take a printout. You can't take it. Why? Because of your operating system don't know how to work with that printer. Got it?
Yes.
Your operating system don't know how to work with that particular printer. So what to do? We need a piece of program. We need a piece of software or a program to interact with that device, or understand, or making a communication between your operating system to your device, your printer. So that is called a driver. That is called a device driver, printer drivers. Install printer drivers, right? So you install a printer drivers. Now your operating system knows how to work with this printer. Okay. So the drivers are nothing but a program or a software. It is simply a software. Drivers are nothing but a programs or a software. Now, whenever so install drivers, your Microsoft, you are working with Microsoft means Microsoft use a digital signature on it. Okay, or a company will do digital signature. This is my drivers. These are the genuine drivers for a Microsoft Windows. That signature is required. Sometimes you download the drivers from the different website. You type in a Google like a HP drivers, HP printer drivers, and some website shows HP printer drivers. Then you download it and you install it. But that is not from the original resources. What happened? Those kind of stuff, repacked drivers don't get a digital signature. No digital signature means your operating system reject, don't want to work with that drivers. Okay, so in 64-bit you can't bypass it, so you have to must have a digital signature on it. I'm telling a story, but I'm not telling how to do it. So this is my device management. In Windows 10 I will tell how to open this thing, but look at here, this is the my device management, my laptop one. I will show you network adapters related. This is my Wi-Fi. Right click properties. Drivers. It is digital signature by Microsoft. Okay. So this is a Qualcomm Ethos. The company is Qualcomm Ethos Wi-Fi adapter. Okay. So, but your Microsoft given a signature on this. This is I am authorizing these drivers to are working like that. That is digital signature. Good.
Thank you.
Anyone? Any questions? Okay, so in a task manager, you can go to performance tab, then CPU, you'll get this information. Okay. Yeah, so we will go to the memories, RAM and ROM. So first of all, RAM, random access memory. RAM is a random access memory, but I will type only a type of RAM, static RAM, dynamic RAM. The static RAM, we call it as a SRAM. Dynamic RAM is nothing but a DRAM. Dynamic RAM is a slower than a SRAM actually. It is the names are little different. Okay, static RAM is a faster, used for a cache memory purpose only. CPU cache memory purpose. DRAMs used for a regular RAM. It is a cheaper RAM compared to SRAM, so then we can put a very big RAM also, no problem. This DRAM further develop into SDRAM. The DRAM become SDRAM. Okay. And SDRAM become DDR. SDRAM become DDR. So DRAM, after that one synchronous dynamic RAM and double data rate SDRAM. Actually it is DDR SDRAM. Actually DDR SDRAM. Okay, a lot of people don't agree with this is SD-RAM. It is separate RAM. No, it's further developed into DDR. In a DDR2, DDR3, DDR4. These are the versions released into the market. The latest version in the market is DDR4 RAM. Latest version of RAM in the market is DDR4 RAM only. Okay. In a DRAM, there is a different type of RAMs also came into market. So like a EDO RAM, okay, VRAM, like a video RAM, RD RAM. There's so different type of RAMs are came into market, but DRAM is the main important RAM is SDRAM, synchronous dynamic RAM, DDR, synchronous dynamic RAM, then DDR2, DDR3, DDR4 is the latest in the market. So when you check a RAM, so few things you have to check it. One is clock speed. Another one is size. Of course, RAM model also. Okay, check the RAM model, means DDR type model or DDR3 model you are using. What is their clock speed and size of the RAM? Same thing. Here also you will get that one. So memory. Same in a, you can get it from here also. Go to task manager and same performance. Memory. Okay. So then see it is 12 GB DDR3 model I am using. Okay, and available memory speed 1600 megahertz. 2 RAMs I use it, and a SODIMM is my package. Okay. Just remember, in a packaging of RAM, single inline memory module, DIP modules also there. Like if you are building your own microcontroller, microprocessor like that, that time we use a DIP type of RAMs. Computers we don't use DIP type of RAMs nowadays. SIM also not using. DIMM we are using. RIM. SODIMM. Dual inline memory module. This type of modules for regular PCs, desktops. Desktop PCs only we are using DIMM packages. SODIMM packages for laptops or mini PCs, small PCs. Also we use SODIMM. RIM is also used for desktop PCs and server based PCs. Okay. In a servers also we use RIM. Okay. Want to see how RAM is look like? Like this. Okay. RAMs are look like this one. This is a SODIMM type, means laptop RAMs are small in size. Okay, it is lengthy. Normal RAMs are lengthy RAMs, but laptop RAMs are little shorter. Okay, length is less. Widthwise it is widthwise bigger, but lengthwise it is smaller. This is normal regular desktop RAM. this is laptop RAM. This is laptop. These are the RAMs with a heat sink on it. So if you are a gamer, okay, or maybe continuously are using a laptops, so these heat sinks will reduce the heat on your processor. It take the heat from it. Okay, like this. See, there is a heat sink. So heat sinks basically on RIM type of packages. Okay. So each RAM having their details, what is the type of RAM and size of the RAM, models and voltage limits also there. So changing of RAM is not much easy. You must know the compatibilities of the RAM. On desktop like this, we can able to put a RAM. Okay, so this is a important. Here it is. We use DIM packages and SODIMM package. Small outline dual inline memory module. So here it is. So total memory. My total memory is 12 GB. I'm telling about mine. So then you have to check yours. Okay, 12 GB, and it is mine is DDR3 world system world RAM. Okay, next one is clock speed or register speed is 1600 megahertz. 1600 megahertz speed. It is. Form factor or a package is SODIMM. Anyway, it is a laptop. And go through available memory. So one more point I want to add here. So available memory. Okay. So why it is showing a available memory currently 5.2. I have a 12 GB total memory. What is this available memory? Because I am working on this thing, right? So what is this? Google browser, multiple tabs are open. Okay. Of course, I open this one also. Like what is this? Edge browser, WhatsApp. Okay. Yeah, teaming meeting is also I'm doing, right? And of course, then Outlook, Paintbrush, Notepad. Okay, snipping tool. Okay, and not only that one, there is a lot of background applications also running. CC cleaner is running. Okay, so we not required. So Bluetooth is running, like that. It is showing some things are running, right? So obviously your operating system applications will utilize your RAM. Your operating system and applications utilize your RAM. So after utilizing current utilization, after utilizing, so your available RAM is showing 5 GB. You want to increase the RAM size, available RAM size, not this size. I want to increase my available RAM size by closing things which you don't require, kind of stuff. Okay, so it is a small amount is increased. So how to save your RAM by easily by closing any unnecessary applications open in a background. So this is my Outlook. I am also closing Outlook. So like that, if you stop utilizing your system with unnecessary applications open, so your RAM availability, you will get it. The smoother you will work if you close background applications and services, your startups, services, and a process running in the backgrounds. Okay, if you close that thing, so obviously available RAM will increases. Currently it is showing 5.6 GB. It varies depends upon you open some application. It is not stable. This is stable. It is not stable. How I got a 12 GB. My laptop came with a 4 GB RAM. Then I added a 8 GB to it. Then it became a 12 GB. Guys, if anybody having a only 4 GB RAM people, better go to the shop and upgrade it to 8 GB. So cost is very less. You are investing, that is, but lot of benefits are there. Okay. So people may not know when you are purchasing a laptop. If it is a very old laptop, it's okay. But if you are purchasing very recent, like a last year or before last year laptop you are purchased, so better to upgrade your RAM. If you have 8 GB, you can add another 8 GB. You have only 4 GB, you can add a 8 GB to it. So then like that, more the RAM is better, and in future also you can do a lot of practicals in your laptop only. So this is one more thing you have to CPU, RAM, and finally there is I said basics of hardware, but I'm not teaching any basics of hardware here. It is only I'm telling about CPU, RAM, ROM. What is ROM? What is ROM, guys? Read only
Read-only memory.
memory. Very good. It's a volatile memory. It is meaning is simply it is a chip. Chip with built-in instructions. Instructions are a data inside. So when you chip is manufactured, they put a instructions inside. So later, the ROM is developed into PROM, programmable read-only memory. Programmable read-only memory means you can put some data into PROM. You got empty chip, you put a data. ROM is a chip with instructions inside by manufacturer. PROM is empty chip, you put a data inside. Once you put it, you cannot erase it. Then EPROMs are came. Okay, erasable programmable read-only memory came, but electrically erasable programmable memory become highlighted. Electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. So now we are using these EPROMs. What is the data inside? What is the content of the EPROM? Is nothing but a BIOS. Okay, nothing but a BIOS is nothing but a program. Okay. What is a ROM contain? ROM contain, now we can say firmware. ROM contains firmware. So initially the firmware is BIOS. Nowadays you are getting Uefi firmware. Okay, it's nothing but update version of BIOS only, not a special one. Okay, so there is a two type of firmwares, BIOS and Uefi. Okay, so it's a firmware. What is this firmware? When you power on your system, firmware will test your system and load operating system. So it means how to start. Firmware actually tells how to start, how to load. How to start, how to load the system. Okay, so that is your firmware. You know, you have a mobile phone, so you purchased 4 years back. Now you want to update with the latest Android version. What is latest Android version? 11 or 12, 13, 14, 15, 10, 9. Anyone? What is the latest Android version? Twelve. Okay.
12.
Then we said 12. Okay. Then we also tell 12. Yeah, I not checking recently. That's why I forget that one. Okay. Last time I heard that is something like a pi is there. Okay. That's it. As I remember, marshmallows and are all old that kind of stuff. Lollipop. That's the 5 version. Okay. So I forget like last time I checked that is a pi. Now I am not checking. For example, you have a very old mobile and you want to install or upgrade to the latest version 12 Android. It won't agree because of your mobile phone firmware not compatible with that one. Okay, even that is also very important. Okay, the firmware should understand the latest version of operating system. The compatibility must be there to load your system. Just for knowledge purpose. Okay, so if you don't get in a volume, ROM contains a program. The program is nothing but a firmware. So BIOS UEFI is nothing but a firmware only. Firmware like that. Firmware or a firmware will tells how to start, means you power on the system. How to load operating system will be done by your firmware only. Okay, there are a lot of things to go for it. BIOS is nothing but a firmware. BIOS or UEFI is a basic input
Output system.
output system. Very good. What is UEFI? Unified Extensible Firmware Interface. UEFI. It is there. Unified Extensible Firmware or Firmware Interface. That's the definition. But what are it is, guys? It contains like how to start operating system. That is thing is there. It contains your hardware information and settings and boot priorities. Boot priority means so from where you should load operating system. Okay, means from where to load operating system. Like example, hard disk. You want to load it from the pen drive, or you want to load it through network. Load a OS through network. Okay, or you want to load it from CD DVD. Like this, it will define a boot things. Okay, hardware information and hardware related settings like a CPU, RAM. Okay, about your CPU, your RAM, your hard disk. Okay, like that. So there is so many other things also available, including virtualization technology. including your virtualization technology, enable, disable kind of stuff is there. Date and time, hardware related passwords. So there. Okay. So these are the information located in your BIOS. Okay, your BIOS password stores here. Date and time stores here. Hardware information means your motherboard, their connected devices information. Okay, and their settings means enable, disable of certain features. Enable, disable of certain features. Enable, disable kind of stuff is also in the BIOS. To do it, you have to go to BIOS setup. To work with it, you have to go to BIOS setup. So what is the BIOS setup? How to go to BIOS setup? Generally, you have to start PC or laptop, whatever it is. Okay. Immediately. So start means just press power button. Okay. So press the power button and then press delete button or F2, okay, or F9 or F10 or F11 or F12 like this. In generally, these are the keys. You'll get it. Sometimes F1 is also there. F1 is also there. So mostly these are the keys, BIOS keys. These are the keys. Okay, so then automatically go to the BIOS setting. But how to know it? Two ways to know how to go to BIOS setting. One is put your laptop, means mine is Lenovo particular model. So for example, G400 model, I think so. It is already gone. Sticker is gone from here. So I think like a model. BIOS key. Search in a Google or HP laptop or a Dell laptop, Asus laptop, MSA laptop. So like put it in a Google and find it. Okay, find it. What is your BIOS key? Next, when we start a computer, okay, if you look at on the screen, you can see a setup. Go to setup and the key will be present there. Okay. So like that also you can able to know what is your BIOS key. Earlier days, most of the computers are Dell computers only. That's a Dell. It is become a one in a notes directly. You have to write. So how to go to BIOS setup? For on the computer, press the Dell button continuously. So then it will go to BIOS setting. So there we have to do it. Okay. To do any changes, hardware changes. Okay, you have to go or enable, disable the features. Enable, disable virtualization. You must go to BIOS setup. So this is about your basically ROM chip. CPU, RAM, ROM. Okay. You know hard disk, how to check the hard disk kind of stuff. ROM checking is not there. Secondary memories, I'll tell only hard disk and SSDs. Guys, nowadays the hard disk models BIOS either SATA model or only SATA models only we are using. PATA means parallel ATA. So what is ATA is a technology. ATA is a technology how to transfer a data from our system to devices. So this is advanced technology attachment. This is parallel ATA, parallel advanced technology ATA, serial ATA, serial advanced technology ATA. Which technology we are using now? So SATA technology, because it's a faster than PATA. Okay, bigger size hard disk also available. Current version is SATA 3, 6 GB PS data transfer speed, 6 Gbps, SATA 3. And nowadays SSDs also came up into market. SSDs. What is SSD? Solid. Okay. Solid state drive. Solid state drive. So nowadays people want to go with SSDs. My suggestion is don't go, because it's a costly than regular SATA disk. Costlier than regular SATA disk. Okay, so but faster than SATA hard disk. Faster than SATA hard disk. Lightweight, can carry anywhere. Lightweight, small in size. Lightweight, small in size. No loose parts. Yeah, you will get a doubt like what is the loose part here. Look at here, where it is. Normal hard disk. It is open starting only this one, so don't worry. Yeah, if you see it is any hard disk, laptop hard disk or desktop hard disk, it contains a plotters, a spindle motor, and magnetic coating on it, and read and write header, executor header. Okay, and there is a permanent magnets, and there is a big circuit board backside. Okay, so these are the internal parts of your hard disk. Okay, so that is a loose parts. Okay, if you for example it is slipped from your hand and it is hit a little bit and it may damage, so be careful with a normal hard disk. No loose parts, so it is easily carry. Even though a small hit occurs, no problem, but circuit breaks, big problem. Faster, lightweight, small in size, no loose parts. That is the advantages of SSDs, but it is costlier than SATA. Okay, for example, you buy SSD 240 GB is almost equal to 1 TB hard disk. Almost equal to, okay, 1 TB hard disk. So that is the problem with this SSDs. Okay. So it is around 3000. That is also around 3000. Next, guys, if you want to buy a laptop in future, maybe you want to buy a laptop. Nowadays, laptops come with SSD and they increased the price. The cost of laptop, normal laptop is 40,000. With SSD, it has become 50,000. So they can give with the 40,000 2 terabytes of hard disk. Instead of that one, they give a 500 or a 240 GB SSDs. It is waste of money, guys. So only you feel there is a fast. You know, my laptop is very slow. My desktop is very fast. Not because of 16 GB RAM, not because of i3 processor or 4 core processor. It is only because of internally I didn't install much applications, no startup applications, lot of applications not there. So when I start my evening, I start my computer, I press the power button, and then I will on my monitor. My monitor is nothing but a TV only. So I take a remote and power on. So within a 1 minute, less than a 1 minute, and system is ready. Because of nothing is there, nothing, no running applications are there. It is automatic or faster. Whether it is a SSD or no SSD, system become faster only if very less unnecessary, very less applications, necessary applications only you are using. Okay, language. That's the first point. And SSDs cost is more. Either you buy like a 1 TB or a 2 TB hard disk laptops or SSD plus hard disk laptops, better to go for it. You want to buy a SSD, okay? SSD is also called as a NAND memories. It is non-volatile type memories, NAND memories. It is also called as NAND memories. NAND SATA SSD. NAND SSD, SATA interface, and NAND SSD, NVMe M.2 type SSD is also there. Okay, so you buy a laptop or a desktop, check it which type of SSD they are using. Go through this one. Okay, it is faster than a normal SATA kind of stuff. It is faster. So that is a difference. So you got a normal SSD. Okay, then see this is normal SSD, SATA SSD, and this is M.2 SSD, NVMe M.2 SSD, normal SSD, NVMe M.2 SSD, like this, normal SSD. So this is directly we can connect it to your motherboard. Okay, so these are all faster than compared to normal SSDs. Okay, so you want to go for SSD compulsory. I want, sir, I'm playing games or I'm working on a very big application, like mechanical guys use heavy applications, SolidWorks kind of stuff. Okay, in that cases, you can go for a SSD like this. So look at here, it is 500 GB, 4200. Okay, it is showing like that. Okay, so now the cost is SSD cost is little reduced, but because of lot of SSDs are in the we keep in market. So here it is how to install this type of SSDs. Size of hard disk. Finally, SSD, the smaller in size. SSDs are very old technologies nowadays. That MVMB technologies came into market, so obviously it has become a much better than Yeah, so whatever it is, guys, that is your storage, and this is the type. How to know your storage? Again, so this is your hard disk. This is hard disk name. Total capacity can get it. Okay, this is your capacity. I have two hard disks, don't worry. This is my hard disk name. This is total capacity. Okay, also go to this PC. Look at which disk you have a more space in it. Okay, more space disk, like a type like a C drive, D drive, E drive, F drive. Then tell how much space you have. For example, C drive 16.5, D drive 6.19, E drive 81.3, like this, 16 GB. It's around 6 GB. It's around 81 GB. It's around 1 or 2 GB. Okay, so try to know where the more space is available. Okay, guys, last point I will tell how to find configuration of system. So today first day, so that's why I told very less. In general, I will tell lot of things in a first day only. Okay, for your batch, we'll go with the very basics. Configuration of a system, guys. Always system configuration means what is your CPU, your RAM, your hard disk, your operating system. You must know. Anything you want to add up, you can also add up. So if you have a graphical processing unit, okay, AGP or a graphic card or a kind of stuff. So already I told how to get a system information like a CPU information, memory information, disk information. I told from the task manager. But other than task manager, how to check it? Okay, one is task manager. You'll get this information, some information. EX diag run, put this command dx diag. So it is my last date and time. It is showing my computer name. This is my Windows 10 home single language. Okay, 64-bit Intel processor, i5, 12 GB RAM, page files. It is showing. Also, you can get a display information. So I have a graphic card. This is HD graphics 4000. This is 2 GB graphic card. Render. This is my NVIDIA GT 720M processor. Okay, so dx diag. So you'll get this information. What is this information? i5 processor 3230M 2.60 gigahertz processor, and it is a 64-bit processor. RAM, total RAM is 12 GB. Hard disk, not it is showing anything, but I will tell my hard disk is 500 plus sorry, 500 GB plus 1 TB hard disk it is. OS, current OS is Windows 10 Home. Okay, of course, 64-bit. Graphic card, Intel. SD 4000 or NVIDIA 720M. Both are 2 GB, 2 GB only. Okay, so make sure that what is your system, you must know it. What is your system, you must know it. Otherwise, MS Info 32. Okay, here also you will get it. MS Info 32, you will get it system information. So you will get it like this. Windows 10 Home. Windows 10 Home. i5 3230 processor, 6.0, 2 core 4 logical processors, 12 GB RAM, virtualization enabled or not, components. So you want a disk related one, storage disk. So this is a one disk, see 500 GB. Another one is 1 terabyte, 1 terabyte of hard disk. So what is this? MS Info 32. Okay, so not only these guys, so there is a other few ways also there. Using certain applications also you will get that information. Okay, one is like a CPU Z is an application to know about your system information. Another one is Spicy. So it will be there on my screen. Yes, this is SPCY. This is a very small application, freely you can able to use it. Okay, this application also will give you about your system information. See, look at here, Windows 10 Home. Okay, 64-bit i5 processor. Okay, IB bridge technology processor, 12 GB RAM. Okay, so 12 GB DDR RAM. So what is the graphic card related information, storage related information? I don't require that much big. Operating system, CPU, only CPU, only RAM information, motherboard. See, I have two RAMs are there. Slot 1, 8 GB. Slot 2, 4 GB. So what are the graphic cards, storages, optical drives, audio devices, peripherals, network devices, their information. So using Spicy, you will get this kind of information. So where it is mine, like this. Okay, guys, what you will do today, I don't know how you check it. I don't know how you check it. Either you use a task manager or use a DX diode or use 32 MS Info 32 or you may use a Spicy. Any which ways. I want to know each person's system configuration. Main important one is CPU, RAM, hard disk, total hard disk, okay, hard disk, and your operating system. And your operating system. Okay, graphic card is optional, so graphic card is not required, but these things are required. So compulsory need your CPU information, your RAM information, your hard disk, and your OS. So this is information. I want it. Everybody check in your system, put it in your group. You guys understand this last one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes.
find out how to check your how you check it. That is compulsory. Your way. Okay. How you check it? It is your way. Find out these details and put it in your group. Your name and your system configuration. Your name and your system configuration. If you want, I will put it my configuration. Like I put my name. Sorry, not like that. Like this. So I put a message. Same way you can also put your system configuration. That is your duty today. Okay, I will forward some PPTs. Go through PPTs today. Tomorrow we'll start with the networking directly. Okay. But if you know little bit of one or two statements, I can easily tell. Okay, so I will forward that PPT also. That's it for today, guys. Because the first day I took a very less. That too after long time you are taking some class. Okay, understand, guys? Any doubts?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Tell me.
Sir, actually, there is some issue in my Lapi. So yesterday I gave it to service center. So sir, today I can't able to give my system configuration in group.
Okay.
Is it okay if I give it in like
Okay, no
two,
problem.
uh, two, 2 to 3 days because I'm attending class from my mobile.
Okay, okay, no problem.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Anybody any questions or anything? I'll stop recording now.